Hello everyone, wishing you a very good evening. Welcome to the day 7, the last day of WebDev 101 by TechDrill Initiative hosted by TDG Jalandhar. And I'm super excited to see all 22 of you joining in today. I'm happy that you have been following up all your learnings till now and you have been building projects and you are learning web development. So coming to the day 7 topic. So today's topic is little bit of advanced JavaScript and we'll also be building a mini project. So far we have covered 2 days of HTML content. We have covered 2 days of CSS where we try to build uh, a news card. We also tried to build a whole website. Then we also covered 2 days of JavaScript, and now today is going to be the last day of JavaScript and probably the last day of this bootcamp. So moving on to today's topic. So today we are majorly going to focus on three main topics. One of them is what is API. Then we are going to see what exactly is JSON. Then we'll see what is the JavaScript fetch API, and then we'll try to implement all these three concepts in our GitHub directory project. So today we are going to the main topic for today we are going to see how we can connect our front end to our back end and how we can use the back end data on our front end part. So we have tried to build static websites, and then moving on to interactive forms, then moving on to interactive websites. So now let us see how we can actually connect our front end to the back end and use the back end data. So quickly want to reiterate this that you can follow up your learnings using the GitHub repository. So the repository name is Web 101, and you can follow all the content of all the days starting from day 1 to day 7. And I have all I have added all the resources. And even if you feel that this can be improved, then feel free to submit a pull request. So now coming to the first point, what is API? So have you ever heard about API before? You can drop in the comment section. Or if you have heard about it, do you know what is the full form of API? Yeah. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. So an application programming interface, an API, is nothing but a connection between two different computers or two different computer programs. So it is basically a type of software interface which is offering one kind of service to other pieces of software. So let us say we have a front end software and we have back end software. So API is used to generally connect both of them. A document or a standard which describes how to build such a connection or such kind of interface is called as API specification. We'll not go much into what and how it is done for now, but we are right now trying to understand what exactly is API. So, for an example, let us take like whenever you are using any kind of application on your mobile phone, and the application connects to the internet and sends the data to a server. So the server retrieves that data. It also interprets it. It performs all the necessary actions. It calls all different kinds of functions, and it then sends it back to your phone. So the medium is internet, and the main thing which is responsible for transporting is the API. So the application then interprets the data. It also presents you with the information, and that is also in a readable format. So it is not kind of in binary. You can actually see what exactly is going and what exactly is coming. So this is what exactly an API is, and let us also see in one more way. Let us understand this in very layman terms. So, for an example, if you are visiting any restaurant, you are sitting on the table and you want to order your food. So you call the waiter and address all your order items to the waiter. So here, let us say that the customer which is sitting on the table can be compared as our front end website, our front end code, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And let us compare the kitchen with our server. So all different kinds of functions are performed in the kitchen, and so on our servers. And here, let us compare the waiter or the person who is taking the order as API. So API transports your order items to the kitchen, and it also brings all the necessary dishes to your browser. And same things happens here also. So are you very clear with what exactly is an API and how these things work? API is common. So using API, like if for an example, if you are building web applications, mobile applications, or any kind of application, then API is the thing which is used for transportation. So any questions? Any questions so far? Okay, it's great. We are very clear with this. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. It it is the connection between two different computer softwares or computer programs, and it also allows two different applications to talk to each other. Just summarizing on that, and let's move on to what is JSON. So have you heard about JSON? Do you know the full form of JSON? Do you think JS and JSON is related? Okay, so moving on to what exactly is JSON. So JSON is nothing but JavaScript object notation. So it stands for JavaScript object notation, and it is a very lightweight data interchange format. So whenever we are calling any API, so API is going to present the data in the JSON format. So for an example, comparing to the restaurant example, so whatever the dishes are, that can be compared to JSON. So JSON is nothing but JavaScript object notation. It is presented in JavaScript object format. We'll also see what exactly it is and how it looks like. But it is generally plain text which is written in JavaScript object format. It is nothing very different from that. It is used to send data between two computers. So we discussed that how API works, and it is also language independent. So for an example, if you are building your backend service using JavaScript, or if you are building your backend using Java, both are going to give JSON to the front end. So it is independent of any language. So whatever language you are going to use, for an example, if you use Python, JavaScript, or Java, or any kind of programming language, the data needs to be passed using JSON. So are we very clear? Are we very clear with what exactly is JSON and what exactly is API? Clear, clear, great. Now we have learned how this communication thing works, but let's see how we can actually do that. Moving on to JavaScript fetch. So JavaScript fetch is nothing but it is just fetch API, and it looks more like a function. So here let me just start the pointer. So here you see that we are using the fetch keyword over here, and it looks a little like function. And here we are going to pass the parameter as the URL. So for an example, our backend is hosted at example.com, and inside that we are having some kind of JSON file. So we just need to enter the URL which we need to get from the backend developer, and here you are going to see something new. Here you are going to see .then. So this is JavaScript promises. We are not going to going in much detail about what is JavaScript promise, but let us understand in this way that once this statement is going to be executed, then and then only this statement is going to be executed. So it's not that the functioning of the first statement is incomplete and the next statement is going to complete. So it is mainly for sequence control. So here in this example, the first statement is going to complete, and then the second statement is going to run. And inside then we this is a function. So we saw arrow function. So here you can see arrow functions. Here we have response as the parameter, and now what we are doing, we are we are getting the data from the JSON format to a different format. So we are converting the response to JSON, and then we are passing a data parameter, and we are simply logging the data. So here now you can see all the data in your console. So are you clear with what exactly this and what exactly is fetch function, how it runs, and how it is executing line by line? So any questions? Okay. So as we are clear with all the three concepts, now let us build our mini project, which is a GitHub directory. So generally, different companies and different products give the users an API to try and test their data and build some kind of application using that. Different businesses also give different kind of B2B services also give other businesses some kind of APIs. So today we are going to build the GitHub directory using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and today we are going to consume the GitHub API. Now let me quickly share my screen and show you how this thing is gonna work. Okay, so I hope my second screen is visible to you. Now whenever you enter api.github.com/users, then it is going to give us the data of first 100 users of GitHub. So here you can see that this is nothing but basically an array of objects. So here you can see that we have different objects inside this array, right? So we are getting some data of all GitHub users in array of objects format, and here is the data. So for an example, let us say yes. So this is an actual user. This is actually a GitHub user, and we are getting all his different kinds of data using the API. We are not accessing the front end, but we are just directly getting the API. We are just calling the API and getting all the data in JSON format. So let us see how. Let us see quickly how this is different from the from the JavaScript object. So whenever the JSON data is coming, at that time, if you see the raw data, it is always going to be inside. Uh, so the left hand, so the left hand part of any object is going to be inside this double quotes. In JavaScript, you can use single quotes or double quotes, both are allowed. But in JSON format, you need to have double quotes on the left part, and that is compulsory. Without that, uh, JSON format is not going to work. Also, on the last value, there should not be a comma. So here you can see that we have a comma at all the values, but on the last value of an object, we should not have any comma. So this is how you can compare JSON. So now let us quickly start building our project. Now I have initialized an empty directory inside VS Code. I hope you are able to see the screen. Inside that, to create our web project, first of all we need to define index.html, and inside index.html, let us first of all create the template of the web page. Here let us say GitHub directory, and this web page will work on this, let's say h1 GitHub directory. Open the browser. Okay, this is working perfectly. Now let us see how we can show all the data on this browser. Now let us create a table first of all, and let us first of all have a visual thing of how this data will actually look like. So let us create a table, and let's say the T head, and inside table heading we should have three heading. The first should be SR number, serial number. Then we should have username, a GitHub username, and then should we have GitHub avatar. Avatar means the profile picture. Okay, and inside the table body we want three data. So let's say one dot. Let's say Terasari. Let us add one image. Say the image name. Oh yes, oops, forgot to add the row. Thank you. So okay, let us let us use any image. 'Image. 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 ' image, and let's say the width should be 50. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, fair enough. It looks very basic. No problem. Now, let us see how actually we can uh, use the the data from the server. So now let us add the JavaScript file. So let us say script src equals to script.js. Let us create the script.js file, and inside that let us simply log console hello. Okay, and everything is working perfectly. Now let us see the fetch function. So let us first of all define fetch. Inside that we need to pass the URL. So let's say the URL is api.github.com/users. Okay, we have defined the URL. Now let us say then oops, then inside that we have response, which is a parameter in a function, and inside that we are going to say response.json. After this statement is running, we want to get the data. So what we are doing, we are logging the data. Let's see how it looks like now. So now here you can see some data which is logged inside the console. So see, this is basically an array. Here you can see the uh, the square brackets, and inside that we have different objects. So we have different objects. Let us check the first object. We have all these kinds of different values, but please do notice that here we have this in the JSON format. Here it is having double quotes on the left hand part, and here we are having in this format. We are converting this. So here this is in the JavaScript object format. So now let us actually use this in our project. Let us actually use all the data, and let us try to create all these values dynamically using JavaScript. Before going that, let us uh, quickly style the website a little bit. Let's say we are not going to do too much of styling today. Let's focus more on JavaScript. So let's say I want the text to be aligned to be centered. Then I also want the table. So I want the table should be of with, let's say, 70 percentage. I want it to be centered. Let's say margin auto, zero auto, and we also want border. So we want that on the table, table row, table data, and table heading. Let's say border 1 pixel solid black. And let's see how it looks like. Okay, so the table looks little neat. Now it looks kind of perfect. Now let us see how we can actually input dynamic values inside this. Coming back to JavaScript. So now let us say that we are going to define a function. So let us say function show data. And inside show data, let us first of all see where do we want. Let us first of all select where do we want to input our values. So we want to input our values inside t body. So let us give an ID. Let us say table body. Let us copy paste this format. Now the t body is empty. And here let us use that document dot get element by ID. Let us use table body dot inner HTML equals to, let's say, the old data, and we are entering this using JavaScript. Let's see if this still works. Yes, we have not we have defined the function, but we are not calling the function. So let's call the function. Okay, okay, it looks perfectly. So now let us see how we can add all this data. So on let us whenever we want to add all this data. So yesterday what we forgot is that we forgot to add the append thing. So we need to, so whenever we are going to iterate over all the values and we want that to be appended on that appended inside the HTML element, then we should use the plus equals to. So this will add this HTML element to whatever it is there. So first of all, let us call this function this way. Let us say show data. Inside that we are passing. So we are calling the show data function using fetch inside the fetch. And inside show data function, we are passing this data as a parameter. So if we are passing here as a parameter, so let us also define here as user data. It is not the thing that this variable and this variable should be same, and that is why I'm trying to use different variable. So yesterday we also saw uh, a new function called for each. So on this is going to iterate on each and every object inside the array. And here we are using an array and we want to iterate over all these things. So inside that, let us say, okay, now what we want to do, instead of 1, I want this number to be manual. So what I'll do is I'll create a variable, let's say I equals to 1. Then I'll okay, so then I'll add this inside let me also quickly show what is backtick. So this is backtick, which is above the tab key, and whenever we want to insert variables dynamically, then we need to use backtick instead of our general single quote. So here I'm adding the variable this I'm adding the variable I. So let's say I, and I want I to be incremented at each operation. So let's say I plus plus after this thing. Okay, I plus plus. Now I want this value to be dynamic. So let's say uh, I should be. Now what should be the I? Sorry, what should be the variable? So let's see. Now here you can see the URL. Here you can see https github.com and Mojumbo is the username. So here we are able to see Mojumbo, the username using the login property. So here let us use data dot login, and instead of passing the image dynamically, let us also use the variable over here. Here let's say the name should be data dot login image, alt tag, and let's see what else it should be. Okay, okay, the image is inside avatar URL. So let's use data dot avatar URL. Now once we run this function, this is, see, now we don't need to run this manually. Now this function will be called inside the fetch function itself. Let's see how it looks like. Refresh, and we are able to see all the values using the API. All this is going to be dynamic. So for an example, if we change this on the backend, then we are able to see the new users on the front end. And this is the same thing. Like for example, if you see Instagram posts or Facebook, Twitter, this is how it generally works. So there are different APIs for different uh, purpose. Here also inside this API. So inside this thing, there are different APIs. So let's say I want to get all the followers of the user Mojambo. So I can use this API, and this will give me all the followers of this user. So if I want to showcase all the followers, then also I can do using the followers API. Now there are different APIs. Let's say repository URL. I can see all the repository. I can also see all the organization, subscription, and so on and so forth. Now, we are not going to into too much of design, but this is what I wanted you to understand. This is how JavaScript works, and this is how we connect front end to our back end. So now, for example, if you are building any kind of, your college project, or if you are building any personal project, then you are, qualified as a front end developer to build your website. You just need to ask any of your friend to build the backend, give you the API, and you can access all the data. So now before moving on to next thing, do we have any questions over here? Okay. Can we create our own API? Yes. So uh, so backend developers, after doing all these things, after doing all the functions or creating all the functionalities, backend developers are going to give you APIs. So that is what we are going to do in the backend bootcamp. And we can create APIs. There are also different APIs which you can use. So for an example, random joke is also having an API. So if you want to build a website or a website as a personal project, then every time the user is going to refresh, it is going to see a random joke on the website. So this is also something what you can do. So any questions so far? Should we move to the next phase, or do you have any questions? Okay. Now moving on to the next thing. We have built a project, and now let's see what is something for you. So now to receive the certificate, you need to complete the project, and you need to complete the task which I'll be giving you today. And there are two things. We'll see what exactly those are. So project submission. So there are two things. First is creating your personal portfolio website. So I want all of you to create your own personal portfolio website. I am also giving you a wireframe. So inside this GitHub repository, inside Web 101, on the day 7, inside the day 7 repository, here you can see portfolio wireframe.png. So click on this file. Okay, here is the file. Click on open image in new tab. You can also simply download the image, and now here you can see the wireframe. So wireframe is not the actual design, but wireframe is, a basic template. It is a basic structure of how your website should look like. So here you can, style this using different fonts. You can add different colors, you can add different pictures, you can add background images, and you can also add animations. So now let's see how it looks like basically. So what you need to do, you need to enter your name and the designation. So your name and designation should be here. Then here there are going to be four links: home, about, projects, and contact. So coming down to about section, here you should have some kind of picture. Here you should have a description of yourself, and here you can write HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and so on and so forth. You can enter all your skills and learnings, whatever you know. Coming to the next part, here is the projects. So you need to create this kind of two cards, which we also created using the news card project. Here should be the project name, the description should be here. Here there should be two buttons. One is view project, which will take you to the hosted website URL. And here is the view code button, which should take you to the GitHub repository of that project. You can, have multiple projects aligned in this way. And then you have a contact form. So you need to build a contact form, have three different fields, and you need to use the mail to action item. So that is something what I want you to refer to. And at last, you need to add a footer which says built by your name. So this is the basic wireframe, which is going to be the task for your submission. And I also have one more thing to show. Inside Web 101, here coming to this part, you can see the projects to do. Here is the form link, which I will also share in the Meet. And you need to submit your project before 10th of August 2021. And here are the details. So use the wireframe to build the layout of the project. Be creative and feel free to make the website look more appealing. And you need to host this website on GitHub pages. So that is also something which we covered on the first day. And submit the URL using the Google form. There is also one more thing. If you have time, if you have energy, and if you are really enthusiastic about web development, so what I want you to do is that build a search engine to view GitHub users data using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and GitHub API. So let's see what exactly you can do that. So for an example, you can create, I don't want you to create the same user interface, but what you can do is create an input field which will take the username, the GitHub username of any user. Let me input mine. Search. On clicking the search function, on clicking the search button, it is going to run a function, and it will show me all the different data using the GitHub API. So let's say the image, my name, my username. The username is also clickable. So for example, if I click here, it will navigate me to my website. We can also show follows and following. And on clicking this two, this will also navigate me to follows and following tab. And you can have, you can, if you know how to use navigation and all, then you can show repositories and organization. And all this, you can consume GitHub APIs and build such kind of project. So if you have time and if you want to do that, feel free to do this in your design user interface, and you can showcase followers, following, repository, organization, and so on. And at last, if you really like the content, then don't forget to start the repository. And that's the end to WebDev 101. And thank you everyone for tuning in for all the 7 days of learning. I really appreciate all of your presence, and I also really appreciate JDG Chalandar to represent, you present such opportunities to me and to you to learn different new concepts. So thank you everyone. Over to JDG Chalandar.